It's nice to see Japan is actually doing something, because Japan just destroyed feminists and payment processors who targeted Steam. Let's get into it.
So we've recently been talking a lot about payment processors and this
Yeah.
Australian feminist organization collective shout going after Steam, trying to enact policies that censor certain material on the
Yeah, that's
platform.
so stupid. Who are payment
And now
processors to
Japan
dictate
is
what we
seeing
can
what's
and
going
can't
on, and
buy?
they're fighting back against these payment processors.
This is Herohei. It's our good fellow femboy Herohei. I think I have a Rev one lined up, but I'm not sure. But yeah.
There is an update from just today about that. Breaking news, if you will.
Wrong
But what we
femboy.
have here on screen is actually not breaking news. This is a post, a tweet from the legendary politician and legendary mangaka Ken Akamatsu,
Yo, let's
who you may recall
go.
last year, basically 13 months ago, was calling out this exact same thing.
Yeah,
We'll read
it's
this and then get to the
stupid.
new stuff. He said,
Ooh.
"We've received many questions regarding Manga Library Z being asked by an international credit card company to stop
We
distributing
need more femboy VTubers. True, true. I agree with that. We do need more femboy VTubers.
works that contain certain words. There have been many
So
notices to
retarded.
ebook stores in the past, but this time I feel that it is the largest one yet. Regarding the policies of these private companies, credit cards, politicians should avoid casually saying on the internet that there's a possibility that it may violate certain laws as it puts pressure on the private sector. However, I think that in the future, this will become a problem for the general regulation of expression in Japanese culture. And wow, has that aged accurately.
Yeah, real
And he
accurate.
says, so some kind of response will be necessary. This is because, in fact, this time unprecedented strong conditions and strong penalties have been confirmed. And if these are left unchecked, excuse me, I lost my spot. Okay, there we go. If these are left unchecked, it is expected that they will gradually spread to other expressions. If that happens, it will become a problem not only for the publishing industry, but for the entire Japanese content industry. First of all, we will
Yep, yeah, it literally already did. Like, dude predicted the future so well. Like, first they started in Japan, where they essentially, for some fucking reason, said, you're not allowed to use our payment processors to, to, on this fucking otaku dating apps. I was like, what? But yep, it was for otaku dating apps, and they literally said, "Oh, you're not allowed to use our payment processor for this because it could be quote unquote bad." But they'll allow you to buy OnlyFans and whatnot, which leads to even more porn addiction, and they'll turn a blind eye to that and won't stop that type of shit or Fansly from running rampant. I never heard of this. What the fuck is this crap? Yeah, it's fucking insane, dude. Like, they did this shit. They also did it towards like these ebook sites as well, where, and this one was for women. Like, there was this website in Japan that was predominantly used by women to rent out like audiobooks for like erotic books and whatnot, erotic novels. And instead of reading it, they'd want to listen to the audiobook, and the payment processors literally did the exact same thing, where they said you can't use us for this type of stuff. Only, and their logic and reasoning was, oh, we're doing this to protect women, but their main people who used it were women, which is why it was like, what it made no sense. They are running rampant. Yeah, it is true. This is some bullshit. It is. It's fucking wild, man. Like, who are payment processors like Visa and MasterCard and PayPal to tell the consumer what they can and can't consume? As long as it's legal. Like, it's pretty fucking ridiculous.
start by investigating the situation.
And this is obviously to, like, test the waters. They're obviously doing this to see how far they can push it and how far their reach will extend. And honestly, good on Japan for doing something, but here in America, we're also doing something. Where there is a act called the Fairness Banking Act or something like that that's being presented as we speak in this year. It was drafted and it's being introduced into Congress, where basically payment processors won't be able to say who need to be dismantled. The issue isn't that they need to be dismantled. The issue is that they have a monopoly, and a lot of the big ones share the exact same political views. So that's what fucks everything up. Is that they have a monopoly on all this shit.
Other stores and compiling information. We apologize for moving slowly compared to international brands, but as this is a serious issue, we will proceed carefully. There, of course, was also a few other occurrences between then and now over the last year or so regarding censorship and payment processors and Japan fighting back against them, but I'm not trying to do a full recap on stuff I've covered regarding this issue over the last year or so. It's just a little bit of context as we move into the current news from today from Yahoo JP. The headline reading, Visa is administratively punished for violating antitrust laws, and the Japan Fair Trade...
I feel like this is going to be one big-ass lawsuit if they're not careful payment processes. The thing is, payment processors shouldn't just be telling people what they can and cannot buy. You're literally there to just act as a middleman for the movement of money. That's literally it. But to dictate what you can and can't buy, it's fucking ridiculous. Because, like, think of it this way. Right now, it's video games. But who's to say 10 years down the line, they don't suddenly implement a rule that's like, oh, you voted for Trump? Oh, okay, well, you're cut off. We're freezing your card. You can't use us as a payment processor anymore. All the money you had in the bank, ours now. Suck it. L plus ratio, bozo. Or, oh, you voted for Obama? Oh, well, guess what? You can't use our cards anymore. Frozen bank accounts, frozen assets. You're not allowed to withdraw money. The money's ours now. L plus ratio, bozo. Like, where does it end? Realistically. And it's just an infringement of people's rights. Like, so heavily. Like, who are you to dictate what people can and can't spend their money on?
Commission applies the confirmation procedure on the 22nd, that being today. The Fair Trade Commission applied administrative sanctions and confirmation procedures to Visa worldwide. So being hit with those sanctions. According to the Japan Fair Trade Commission, this is the first time that an international credit card brand has...
Because people who did this are incredibly short-sighted. I agree. They are... Well, they're not short-sighted. The people who are doing this, the payment processors, they're trying to see how far they could get away with it. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to see just how far they can push this entire ordeal. You know, it's like, okay, like I said, today it's video games. Tomorrow it's fucking manga. The day after that it's fucking, I don't know, 50 Shades of Grey. The day after that, oh, you voted against our political ideals and ideology. All right, sucks to be you. It's ridiculous.
And confirmation procedures to Visa worldwide. So being hit with those sanctions. According to the Japan Fair Trade Commission, this is the first time that an international credit card brand has been administratively punished, including Visa, which is the largest in the industry, and boasts the largest market share in Japan. They then talk about the prior situation that we briefly aforementioned, hyperlinking to an article about that and saying in 2024, the Japan Fair Trade Commission will conduct an on-site inspections of Visa. This, of course, is a little bit of an error in the auto-translate, as that has already happened. They then go on to recap some more stuff, but the main takeaway here is that, yeah, on today, the 22nd, it sounds like Japan's Fair Trade Commission is applying sanctions on Visa. I'm not sure if they're going after any other payment processors. This should just be the start.
They should go to
back
after
over on
Visa.
Twitter. We can see this
after others
with
instead
over
of just
300
Visa.
likes already from also today. By Ohio My Brother, saying breaking the Japan Fair Trade Commission has applied administrative measures under the Anti-Monopoly Act, including the commitment procedure to Visa on suspicion of violating the act. And following up by saying today, for the first time in Japan, an administrative penalty was imposed on an international credit card brand. Do you understand what this means? I sincerely hope that from now on, Japan will thoroughly pursue and address all issues related to credit cards. Responses including, hopefully this will snowball and other countries will jump on this too.
This is already happening. Like, we're already jumping in on this. Like, this right here, the Fair Access to Banking Act. This is what our government is trying to push. They're trying to introduce. It's in introductory state right now. It hasn't passed on to Senate or House. But this right here is the plan to sort of fight this, because what's funny is that payment processors are already doing this shit when it comes to like guns and whatnot. Like the payment processors are already like denying people the ability to like buy guns, buy ammunition, buy accessories for guns, and it's fucking ridiculous because that's legit a violation of the Second Amendment right. They're getting in the way of people's right to bear arms. So they're introducing that as well. Let's see here.
A first step in fixing the issue. It affected their country first, so it'd be pretty good if they can address it. Based, which is why I like Discover, kind of that underdog that never quite got its footing down. It's time to abolish the corrupt banking system, and we need regulations against our credit card companies also, so much in the US. Oh, but it doesn't end there. Things are continuing to heat up even further, as I now present to you Zenko Curry.
Could you put the link in chat so I can... Yeah, sure. Here you are, buddy. It's right there. I'll also throw it in... Let's see here. The fuck do you mean? I'm live right now. This should be muted. Muted right now. I'll throw it in YouTube chat as well, so that way it's there. And I'll chuck it in Kick chat as well. But yeah, this is like really, really fucking wild. Powder.
Kishida, Japanese politician. And just 15 hours ago, Kishida directly acknowledged his Collective Shout, saying the group Collective Shout, which reportedly put pressure on Steam, is an Australia-based non-profit activist organization.
So stupid, dude.
That campaigns against the objectification of women and the sexualization of girls. It seems they have a track record of several cancellation cases, beyond Steam. The following is from Grok, so please take it with caution.
Let me translate what he just said. Australian Karens are trying to dictate what people around the world can and can't consume, even though it doesn't affect them in any way, shape, or form. Boom.
So it's
easily
interesting that Collective Shout is on the radar of politicians in Japan. We're already, as mentioned, seeing repercussions being applied, penalties being applied to payment processors via the Japanese Fair Trade Commission. And we might see further statements coming out from the likes of Kirishita here and Ken Akamatsu and potentially the Otaku.
It's always the fucking Karens,
being, of course, Yamada Taro. And it seems like this attention is really the last thing that Collective Shout would want. They're probably quite afraid of this continuing to blow up and backfire even more.
It's so funny how all of a sudden they're scared, yet they were literally putting on their social medias that they're responsible for why these games got taken down. Like, it's so funny. It looks like Collective Shout or a follower seeks to close the petition to stop payment processor activist groups citing defamation. No, it's not defamation when they themselves are taking credit for all this. How is it defamation if you're quoting them themselves? It makes no sense.
They seem to already be getting...
What's next, Stellar Blade, Nier Automata, anything with a T or A at all? Yeah, it's so stupid. It's like, okay, what's next? Are they gonna remove fucking Baldur's Gate? Because you can romance anyone you want? Or are they going to take away Baldur's Gate because they incentivize mods and some of the mods might be too quote-unquote risque for them in their opinions? Not even the opinion of the public. It's just their own personal beliefs that that's just fucking it up for everyone, which is so stupid. And for banks to like try to like and for these payment processors like MasterCard and Visa to be like, oh, well, you know, we're just listening to this activist group as like a type of scapegoat is also utter bullshit. Because they themselves are doing this, like I said, to test the waters to see what they can and can't get away with. And thank God that the governments are reacting at a substantially fast rate. Because if they waited to see just how far they push this, well, then you just give them a shit ton of leeway to be like, oh, well, we did it with this and this and you didn't complain, so why is this an issue?
Tweet reading from Pirate Nation.
So it's better that they cut the snake's head off right now.
To stop payment processors and activist groups citing defamation. And so, yeah, it seems like there is a petition going around to, well, As they say, tell MasterCard, Visa, and activist groups stop controlling what we can watch, read, or play.
Yes,
And yeah,
good.
it looks like the petition hosted on change.org has received a defamation claim.
That's insanely
Someone, or
stupid.
some people, maybe an organization, is really desperately trying to get this petition taken down. It seems like the organizer of the petition got this message from change.org, presumably. It reads,
They got fucked by
"We're writing to let you know
change.
that we received a claim alleging that content in your petition update here is defamatory. Change.org is an open platform, and we care deeply about free speech and empowering our users to create the change they want to see. However, when you use change.org, you agree to our terms of service and community guidelines. And this includes agreeing not to defame others.
Yeah.
This means you cannot make untrue statements about another person or organization which harm their reputation. In order to allow us to continue hosting your petition update, please provide proof or substantiation of any allegedly defamatory statements within 3 business days of this communication." They go on to make a few disclaimers and ultimately thank the user for...
Book Talk is next, with how much smut there is. True, but I don't think they touch TikTok. But they might actually start like doing like this whole censorship of light novels that you can and can't buy. Like I said, they already did that in Japan. They already got away with it in Japan, and now the government, like, that dude's fighting back, and it looks like it's being successful. But they tried that shit in Japan already with certain books, which is funny because all the books that they were like going after were books that other women were literally buying. It wasn't even books that men were predominantly buying. It was predominantly women buying these books, and they went after them, which was fucking wild to me.
using...
All in the name of protecting women, mind you. That's literally what they said. This was literally to protect women and women's rights. But then the Japanese women were like, what the fuck do you mean? These are the books that we women buy. What do you mean protecting women's rights? It like literally backfired against them.
Change.org saying if you have any questions, let us know. Taking a look at some of the responses to this one, we can see they should just share
AO3 is going to get hit.
As proof it's not defamatory in the slightest. They can't compete in a market free ideas, which is why they always try to silence the opposition.
Yeah.
They truly cannot stand any pushback whatsoever, to the point of actively silencing petitions and critical articles. Holy clown show. Visa will be a king. Complaint probably filed by Visa. And yeah, it's just some more BS by them, probably paid to do it. Well, obviously the next thing that we need to do is hop over to change.org and take a look at the petition itself. Let's see what's got...
Alright, let's look at the petition.
Terrified.
Let's go.
The issue. MasterCard and Visa are interfering with legal entertainment, often under pressure from advocacy groups like Collective Shout. We demand an end to this censorship of fiction and the right to choose the stories we enjoy without moral policing.
Yeah, it's fiction. Fiction is fiction. Reality is reality. Everything that people consume that they're going after is literally fictional media that has absolutely zero effect on reality, other than some mentally ill Karens are offended because they are fucked in the head. Like, it's ridiculous as fuck for these companies to be saying what you can and cannot buy. What's next? Are they going to start canceling fucking Hulu, Netflix, or HBO Max subscriptions? Because they might be showing something that, or have a show that they don't like, forcing the streaming platform to remove that show, even though it might be a fan favorite because it covers certain topics that are deemed, controversial? Like, it makes no sense. What's next? You're not a Gamers Workshop. You're not allowed to buy 40K figurines from Gamers Workshop because of the universe of 40K, or because they chose to have Lord of the Rings figurines, which pisses off the Karens because they love just shitting on Lord of the Rings and Tolkien for some reason. They better not touch Astolfo. Like, bro, they probably are eventually at some point. Like, shit. Like, first it's otaku dating apps. Next it's audiobooks of semi-erotic books. Then what? Manga. After manga, they go after games. Well, they're already going after games and shit. case in point. But it's like, okay, they took off some games. What's next? Are they gonna start going for the games that have predominantly femboy characters? You know, are they gonna go after Fate Grand Order next? After stuff like they better stay away from femboy writer. True, but like where does it end? Which is the issue? Not the femboys and fudas. True, but it's like, where does it end? Which is why it's a good thing that the governments are actually starting to do something about this.
Well, seems pretty dang reasonable so far. MasterCard and Visa have increasingly used their financial control to pressure platforms into censoring illegal fictional content. Entire genres of books, games, films, and artwork are being demonetized or deplatformed, not because they're illegal, but because they offend the personal values of executives or activist groups.
Yeah, that's wild.
It sounds like we know a few English voice actors and English localizers that would get along great with Collective Shout, but I digress. Continuing. This behavior is not just overreach, it's blatant hypocrisy. These same payment processors allowed platforms like OnlyFans to operate with minimal oversight, despite multiple credible reports and lawsuits alleging the presence of real SA content involving real-life minors.
That is insane, dude. That's fucking insane. So fuck you if you want to buy a ecchi audiobook in Japan, but have all this money when it comes to OnlyFans and promoting actual fucking sexual abuse of minors on OnlyFans. That's so fucking disgusting. That is beyond disgusting. Paimon VA is so obnoxious. Yeah, I agree, which is a good thing she got fucking fired. But yeah, like, dude, this is insane, man. How are you gonna shit on video games, which is fiction, but then here where actual real life people are being affected, minors no less, and then they have the audacity to fucking say that they're doing this for a morally just reason. Well, they're the primary customers for the minor content. True. I guess that is true. Oh, Paimon VA got fired. Good fucking. Yeah, she got laid off a while ago, but she claimed that she stepped away. But let's be real, she didn't step away. She probably got fired and whatnot. I think that happened like last month or 2 months ago, because like SAG-AFTRA was doing the strikes and shit. And they came to like a reasonable conclusion, like what Hoyo had provided them was all very much within reason, and they said no, we want the entire cake. And MiHoYo basically said, all right, get fucked then. We're not gonna sign any more of your people, and we're just gonna hold off until the contracts are over. And they laid off Paimon. They also laid off some other fucking voice actor too, the one for some other chick that was also being annoying. But I think they're gonna keep like the ones that actually want to work, like Venti's voice actor, who actually like wasn't even a part of the strike, who was just had to be because of SAG-AFTRA and whatnot. But I think like they did get rid of Paimon. I know that for a fact. So yeah,
that is a criminal failure of responsibility. Wild. Yet when it comes to entirely fictional depictions, these same companies act swiftly, shutting down creators, restricting access, and acting as global censors. The pressure to do this is often fueled by advocacy groups like Collective Shout, a feminist organization that routinely campaigns
always
against
the feminists
content, even when it's fictional, legal, and clearly labeled for mature audiences. Let's be clear. Yeah. Collective Shout does not speak for everyone. Adults are capable of choosing what they want to watch, read, or play. If someone doesn't like a certain type of entertainment, the solution is simple. Walk away. Nobody is forced to engage with content they find offensive, but
they're making the circuses shittier. True. Yep. They
are.
have
no right to dictate what others are allowed to enjoy, especially when it's within the bounds of the law. Fiction is not reality. Sex sells, and consent, artistic expression, and market freedom must be respected in any healthy...
Yeah, so it's bad for, according to these feminists, it's bad when women in fictional video games are sexualized, but it's okay for women to sexualize themselves on OnlyFans and Fansly. Fiction being fiction as opposed to reality hurting real people. I wonder which one is actually worse when you think about it.
Democratic society. We demand that MasterCard, Visa, and their pressure partners 1. Stop censoring illegal fictional content that complies with the law and platform standards.
Yeah.
2. Reject influence from activist groups that promote moral panic or misrepresent fiction as harm. 3. Be fully transparent about content restrictions and the rationale behind them. 4. Protect creators' rights to make legal adult content and ensure a fair appeals process for any penalized media. Let creators create. Let consumers
Yeah,
choose.
it's
Payment
so
processors
stupid.
and activist groups should not be cultural gatekeepers in a digital age. Sign this petition to defend free expression, consumer choice, and artistic integrity. Once again, the petition can be found on change.org. Tell MasterCard, Visa activist groups stop controlling what we can watch, read, or play.
They would get rid of femboy content on OF if they could them out. True. Yeah, they probably would, honestly. Because they would probably spin it as like it's offensive towards trans people or some shit like that. Like they fucking try to do every fucking time. Like they probably say like it's offensive towards trans people or some shit like that, and that femboys are an affront to trans people, or the stupid argument that femboy is somehow a slur, which makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Because femboy's literal definition is femboy, a feminine looking boy. Like shit, dude. It's just straight up indoctrination at that point.
Assuming it doesn't actually get taken down over that whole defamation nonsense. At least in my opinion, it seems to be nonsense. I don't know what they could possibly be going after here in this petition. Seems pretty accurate and reasonable.
It seems pretty dry and
cut. Yeah, it's
cut,
not looking good
in my
for Collective
opinion.
Shout. This feels like a variant of the Streisand effect. Obviously, it's not like the exact same thing, but
Yeah.
you can see kind of like the similarities, right? They're like trying to take things down and censor them. They brag about it, and now it's all backfiring. So I don't know.
And then they
what's
go
the word
back.
for that? Is it like instant karma or something? Let me know what you
I
think.
don't
in
know.
the
It's
comments.
karma
Hopefully
coming
you
back
found
to
my
bite
coverage
you
to
in
be
the
entertaining,
ass.
amusing, and or informative, or something positive. And if you
I will say that it's funny because at first they love taking credit for this. They'll say that, oh my god, we were able to take these games down. But then when something like this petition comes up, they immediately go into their corners crying murder and whatnot, saying that they're being attacked. It's like, pick a fucking lane. It's like, well, maybe if you didn't take credit and actually do this shit, you wouldn't be coming under attack. But we both know you're not going to stop because, well, you're just pieces of shit that want to dictate what other people can and can't consume. And it's very ridiculous and very wild to state that only that you're doing this because it's harmful to women. What this like fictional content, mind you, it's harmful to real life women when women themselves also consume this content. Like women also consume erotic content. Women also goon to erotic content. There are some women that goon to big tittied, slim waist, hourglass figure women, like Eve and Stellar Blade. Like you're fucking delusional if you think that it's only men that will consume this content. Like, what do you think lesbians consume? Gay fucking porn about two dudes taking schlong? No, they'll consume beautiful women, stacked beautiful women, doing sexual things with other beautiful women because that's what they like. Like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid and so ridiculous, man. I fucking dislike it so much. But yeah, that's the whole thing. Thank God they're fucking doing something about this, though. I'm glad about that. Japan taking another W, doing the Lord's work.